So what do you do if your anxiety isn't just anxiety, it goes all the way up to DEFCON 5, panic attack? What do you do when you have a full-blown panic attack? Well, there are a lot of things you can do. All the things that I already told you are very, very effective when you have a panic attack. But there are two things that you really want to do first and foremost. One is, don't let that mind go to the point where it needs to have a panic attack for you to pay attention. Because ultimately that's what it's about. Panic attacks are overflowing anxiety. They usually happen because we haven't really noticed, or we have tried to ignore or override a constant anxiety current that already has existed. And as you already know, anxiety wants our attention. It is the message of the inner protector that says, hey, there is something not okay. And so this idea that we can just simply, go into oblivion and deny ourselves to pay attention to our emotions, and that's going to really work well, it backfires, because that is what leads to panic attacks. And panic attacks are avoidable if we are more aware and more, tuned in to how we feel, and then responding to the anxiety when it's more on a lower grade, a lower temperature than in this explosive mode. The other thing is that panic attacks can also happen when we do something even though we know it's not good for us. That's a really interesting thing that I have seen so many times, where people have already some kind of a tendency to be anxious, they feel a little bit more insecure, or they feel a little bit unsafe in the world, and then they do something reckless. One client of mine was drinking and driving and got, into trouble with the police. And that already was a reason to feel really ashamed, but also anxious. But unfortunately, 6 months later, again, drinking and driving. But while the driving happened, the panic attack happened. The panic attack was like overwhelming, so that he literally had to stop the car and couldn't drive anymore. Well, good, the police wasn't involved this time, but still, it was something that inside said, hey, what are you doing? You get yourself in trouble. I saw this with people that had been using drugs recreationally, but afterwards, or, right while they were doing it, spun into a panic attack. I saw this with a client who was regularly in kind of, let's say, aggressive Saturday evening contentions with the regulars at the bar. And at some point, he got so mad that he actually went to the car and looked for a knife. And in that moment, he got a panic attack, because he realized, oh my God, what am I about to do? I'm about to hurt someone. And that panic attack came out of nowhere. It actually stopped him in his tracks. And it took a while for him to really regain trust in himself, because he was not really trustworthy in that moment. So if you look back at your panic attacks, is it possible that you were overriding anxiety, or is it possible that you were doing things that maybe not all of you have been agreeing with? This can also be like another client of mine who regularly pushed herself to the next level and to the next level, and never whatever she accomplished was enough until the panic attack stopped her, because it was too much for her system. It was not really anything that she even took in as a reward. It was just constant slave driving, and a part of her said, this is not sustainable. There is a wisdom in our emotions. Our emotions are not just like any misfirings of the brain, or we just got the wires crossed and poor us. No, there is actually something inside of us that knows better what's good for us than our conscious mind sometimes does. And we have to pay attention to it. And if we don't, panic attacks are one way to get us pay attention. So is also anxiety, and so are also chronic physical issues that I find can happen when we really have been ignoring our emotions for a long time, and then those emotions get stored in the physical body, and then they create chronic pain or autoimmune diseases, and that makes us finally look inside and pay attention. So when you have a panic attack, ideally you will already have practiced the things that I told you about. Don't be afraid of the panic attack. Don't make this, oh my God, what if I have a panic attack? The reason to create a panic attack. It's again this one horse that is, walking through the field and wondering, what if a horse starts running? Oh my God, a horse starts running. And because that horse is so nervous, all of a sudden, one horse picks that anxiety up and starts actually running, and then boom, everyone is running. So just know, my panic attacks of the past, I'm working on myself. I don't need panic attacks anymore because I'm addressing the anxiety at its roots. I don't need this, over drive of messaging anymore. Calm down. You will not have another panic attack. And even if you would, you have a lot that you can practice to immediately stop it in its tracks. So again, parasympathetic nervous system, you can do the breathing, you can do everything I talked about, the physiology, the physical body, including this grounding technique where you focus on your sensations, what you hear, what you see, what you taste, what you smell, what you feel. It can also be, again, this progressive muscle relaxation. Sometimes it's good just to move your body. Sometimes it's just what animals do. They shake their emotions out and then it's done. We don't do the shaking. It would be great if we would shake our body more often, let things go. But, you can go for a run, you can do a little workout. Things like that can also help, although in some ways, if you are in a panic attack, it may really be more beneficial to feed back to your mind. There is no need to be in a panic. Everything is fine. You're safe. And this is also then where visualization can be very, very effective. I always recommend people to have a safe space in their mind, in their heart, they can always go to. For me, it's a beautiful garden with a little pond and a nice tree and a bench, and the weather is perfect and I can hear the birds, and just sitting there chill, drinking a lemonade and just going there and visualizing this. My mind, again, gets distracted. It doesn't hold on to the panic. It just focuses on that, and that in itself feels so much more cooling and relaxing. See, the thing about panic attacks is also that a lot of people know they have a panic attack, but then they're noticing the body going into this fight, flight, and freeze response, and then they think, what if I have a heart attack? And so then, of course, that feedback that I told you about before just makes that panic even worse. And this is, I don't know how many people a year go to the hospital emergency room thinking they're going to die, only to be told that they had a panic attack. And a panic attack doesn't kill you. It doesn't really. Your emotions don't, create some, devastating physical event. But I mean, of course, if you are in doubt, you always should go to the hospital. I'm not saying like, oh, just assume it's a panic attack. No. Go with your instincts. If you feel that this could be a heart attack, absolutely. Call 911, go to the hospital. But also really know that if you know you have a panic attack, you are safe. Your body is safe. Your mind is safe. But It just needs you to counter, steer, and calm everything down. And this is where I feel a lot of us make a huge mistake. And the huge mistake is that we think that there is something wrong with us for practicing any of those tools that I have been sharing with you. I hear clients tell me after they have overcome years of anxiety, after they have really shifted into these empowered selves, they tell me, why should I continue using those tools that have helped me a lot, but it makes me feel like there's something wrong with me. Other people don't use these tools, so why do I need them? I'm not, they're handicapped. There's nothing really any longer bothering me. Well, this is the same thing as if you would say once you got in shape, why should I stop eating healthy? Why should I eat healthy, continue to eat healthy, or work out? I can have a double cheeseburger. I can sit on the couch. I can, just now become this really lazy person because I was in shape. No, once you're in shape, you want to stay in shape. You don't want to lose your shape. You are using your mind way more than you're using your body. I'm pretty sure of that. Your mind, if it were a muscle, needs the same attention that someone who wants to be physically fit gets. So see your meditations, your counterbalancing, your progressive muscle relaxations, or whatever you're doing for your mind to stay in a calm, focused, centered place. Use it regularly as a way to stay fit, mentally and emotionally fit, because your life depends on it. The quality of your life is equal to the fitness of your mental emotional state. And for that, it's totally worth it to spend 10-15 minutes a day to make yourself grounded, to remind yourself of your positive beliefs, to reflect on the emotions that may have come up and realize what your mind needs. Just see your mind also as a friend, as an ally, as someone, especially that subconscious of yours that needs to be connected to, communicated with, collaborated with. It's a unit. It's a way for us to stay true to ourselves, and a way for us to continue to move forward in that most empowered way. So don't tell yourself that this is not necessary. Now more than ever, working on your mind is absolutely a requirement, a necessity. And if you don't believe it, then you probably also don't believe that healthy eating is a necessity to avoid cancer or any other illnesses. And I'm pretty sure you don't believe it. So know that your mind needs your attention, and give it the attention, not because there is something wrong with it, but because it's so beautiful. And it needs you to become more strong and more supportive than ever before. It's worth it. Trust me. Hi, Dr. Friedemann here. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. If you're interested in learning more about fear and anxiety, here you'll find guided meditations, webinars, and interviews with some of the most renowned experts in the field of empowerment. Delve into the over 230 videos and more to come every week.